I grew 100 SMMAs to over $100,000 per month. And today, I'm revealing the exact formula that I use to guarantee that each agency that I start reaches 7 figures. I want to share the mistakes and setbacks that I made along the way so that you can avoid them in the first place. This is going to be one of my most valuable videos ever. With that in mind, let's take a step back to agency number 1. When I was 24 years old, I was working for the billionaire family that took Cisco, the giant billion-dollar tech company, public. And I was their director of marketing. And while I was working for that company, I met my ex-business partner at a marketing meetup. And I went to this marketing meetup because I wanted to just connect with other marketers that were also in Colorado. And I met him there, and he said to me that he took some random SMMA course from a guy named Tai Lopez. I didn't know him back then. And that he was making like $5,000 per month. And part of me didn't believe him. I was like, nah, you're not. And what's interesting is I knew a lot more about marketing than he did. And he was way younger. So I'm like, how is it that this guy that's way younger than me, and I know way more about marketing and ads and funnels and copywriting, how is it that he's making that kind of money, but I'm stuck at a 9-to-5 job? So I said, yo, it's great to meet you. I got it. Let's go get coffee this weekend. So we went to a place called Ozo's Coffee in Boulder, Colorado that Saturday. And we ended up talking for hours. And he made me a really interesting proposal. He said, Joel, if we hit $10,000 per month together on this SMMA, you quit your job. And I said, all right, let's do it. During that time, I stayed at my 9-to-5. I kept working, but literally within like 30 days, I don't know the exact numbers, might have been 40, might have been 20, but within about a month, we hit $10,000 per month. I remember being super scared, super nervous. Anyone that's quit a 9-to-5, you know, it's one of the hardest things that you'll ever do because you're essentially killing off your identity. You're killing off everything you've ever known. You're killing off the comfort that you've already created in your life. And you're essentially going to the unknown. So I walked in, I remember my heart was racing, and pretty much told them I'm out. Now, what's really crazy is within the next like 30 days, we went back down to like $3,000 per month. So I quit my job. I was working for a freaking billionaire. I was making good money, and now we're back to $3K a month. I remember just being like, damn, how are we gonna survive? $1,500 for him, $1,500 for me. After expenses, we're left with pretty much nothing. After that, we ended up going to BNI networking event where you essentially meet up with local businesses. And I told my business partner, why don't we start offering free trials? So we went to these networking events with all these other kinds of local businesses. You had roofers, chiropractors, dentists, lawyers, even painters. And we essentially said, hey, we're looking to partner with a few local businesses. We'll run your ads for free. If after 30 days you like it and you want to keep going, we can talk about what that looks like to work together. After that, we ended up getting a bunch of free trial clients. And after the 30 days, we ended up converting a few into paying clients. So for example, we ended up working with one of my first chiropractor client ever, Dr. Hillary and Dr. Topher in Boulder, Colorado. And they had 2 different practices. We did a whole free month for them. And after the 30 days, they got signed up for about $1,500 a month, not including ad spend. So over time, little by little, we ended up building back up to $10K a month, and then we got stuck. Now, one of the big reasons why we got stuck is because we were all over the place. For example, we partnered up with one of the painters in the BNI group, and it wasn't a painting company. It was a painter like a painting, like they were artists. And I remember trying to build their ads and their funnel to sell their art and just thinking to myself, oh my God, this is not gonna work. And we would end up wasting 30 days trying to build these complicated ads and funnels for these clients that were not going to get results. And we had a bunch of those. We literally worked with a bakery, didn't keep them as a client. It's like, how are you, if you want cake or a freaking muffin or something, you just go walk in. Like, you're not gonna run ads for that. We ended up wasting so much freaking time. So at that point, we're doing about $10K a month. We don't have a niche. We're not clear on our service. I remember we were doing websites, we were doing Facebook ads, we were doing Google ads. We were working with a white label agency that was supposedly doing SEO, which they were not, or at least not doing it well. We were all over the place. What's even worse is we were focused on all of the wrong things. So I remember it took us an entire week to build our website. I spent 7 days working on our website, day in, day out. And how many clients do you think that website got us? 0. Why? Because no one went on the website. And even if they did, that's not the reason why they bought or didn't buy. To make it even worse, I spent a few days creating a sticker that I thought if I put it on my computer, every time we go to the coffee shop, anyone that's a business owner will see the sticker, which pretty much said, ask me about social media marketing, and we're gonna get clients. How many clients do you think that I got from the stupid sticker? 0. I got 0 clients. So we were all over the place, and we were also focused on the wrong things. So yes, we were taking action, and one of the biggest mistakes beginners make is they do take action, but they take action on the wrong things. So what I told my business partner was, we need to do 2 things. We need to niche down, and we also need to get a whiteboard, put it in the kitchen, and it's gonna say this thing. It's gonna say, am I getting closer to a sale? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, stop what you're doing and make sure you're getting closer to a sale. So what ended up happening is we did niche down, but unfortunately we made a big mistake and we went into an unproven niche. We went after rock climbing gyms. So what did I do? First week, I built an entirely new website. It was called Atlas Rock Climbing for a niche that we left like 3 months later. So it was a giant waste of time. How many rock climbing gym clients did we get? 0. Why? Because in a given city, there's like 1 or 2 rock climbing gyms. So if you want to rock climb, you know which ones they are. And if you don't know about rock climbing and you decide you want to go to a rock climbing gym, you go on Google and you search for it and boom, there it is. So they didn't need marketing. We spent like a good few months trying to crack that niche and it did not work. So we did start focusing on the right things. We started sending out Loom videos. We started doing cold email. It wasn't really moving the needle forward because we were doing it all in an unproven niche. There wasn't product market fit. We were trying to offer social media to rock climbing gyms. We were trying to offer growth and they didn't really need to grow. So at that point, we're like, all right, well, who in our client base, who is getting great results? And we realized, well, the people that are getting great results, we had this gym client, chiropractors were getting great results. We had a dentist getting good results. We had a lawyer getting okay results. So we're like, let's kind of niche down and just go into what's proven. And we got rid of this idea of niching down and we started to niche down in a couple different verticals. What's crazy is that the chiropractors, the dentists, ended up taking off and they were just getting better results and better results and better results. And that led us to about 30K a month. At this point, we have a bunch of random clients. We do have more chiros and dentists than any other type of client, but it was still all over the place. And I remember specifically at this stage, I was so stressed out. Like I remember one night walking outside of my house in my neighborhood and I had a panic attack. Like I was so shaken up because of the amount of stress, the amount of overwhelm. We had all these clients. I was trying to manage everything while also balancing my life. And it was just extremely overwhelming. To make it worse, a few days later, I get a text. One of my top performing chiropractor clients, which we made them like $40,000 their first month, texted me and said, want to cancel. The first time that happened, it like sunk my soul. Like I was depressed. Like I was paralyzed. I literally was in bed for a few days. I took it so personally, which by the way, that was one of my biggest lessons. Like, yes, you have to be emotionally attached to your clients and care, but you also have to learn to detach. And also you can't let your emotions rule your decisions. Yes, it's okay to have emotions. Yes, it's okay to use your emotions to guide you, but they cannot rule you. At this point, I was so overwhelmed. I started questioning everything. I'm like, do I really want this? It's a lot of work. Yeah, I'm making some good money. Maybe I was making like 8 to 10K a month. We had really good profit margins. Yeah, I was making a little bit more than my 9 to 5, but like not that much more. And I'm like, do I really want this? Like I really have to sacrifice a lot. Like I'm giving up so much peace for this. At that point, I started applying for jobs. I started almost getting this feeling like I want to escape the entrepreneurship trap that I put myself in and I want to go back to what's comfortable, which was the 9 to 5 job. And I started applying like crazy. I started reaching out. I stopped focusing so much on the agency. I reached out to this one company. I'll have the email. I'm going to put the email right here. Really thinking I was going to get the job. I got rejected. And it was one of the biggest blessings in my entire life. It really forced me to take a step back and be like, do I really want to go back into that world or is it fear? Do I really want the 9 to 5 or am I just in a slump? Am I just scared? Am I just uncertain? I called my dad. He was actually the first person to tell me to go work for 2 years, then be an entrepreneur. And at this point, those 2 years had passed. I followed his advice and I'm about to essentially give up on my dreams to go get a job. And I called him and he said, Joel, just keep going. Give it a few more months. And I remember telling myself, you know what? I'm going to give it 6 months. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to burn the ships. And this was one of the pivotal points in my agency because I truly burned the boats. Either this completely fails and I'm forced to get a job or it succeeds. And at that point, I wasn't at the point where I was forced to get a job. I was making money with the agency. I was just in a place of fear. I was uncertain. I wanted comfort. I wanted to go back to my old identity. But one of my favorite sayings is if you want to get to the new level, you have to kill your old identity. And I was still hanging on to it. And that pivotal moment killed my identity and buried it deep into the ground. And then at that point, it was really go time. So we were about 30K a month. We decided to focus in on a few niches. So we were doing medical, pain management, stem cell clinics, chiropractors, dentists. And most importantly, that's when we really started to focus on setting and closing appointments. We're like, how can we get closer to a sale? Am I getting clients and am I getting them results? Those were the only two things that mattered. I didn't give a fuck about any of the other details, the website, the sticker, everything that isn't getting me clients or isn't getting my clients better results. We also really started to think about how do we scale our prospecting? How do we scale our appointment setting? We brought on VAs to automate cold emailing for us, and they were sending anywhere between 500 to 1,000 cold emails per day. Then we brought on Omir, who was an incredible salesperson, good friend. He became the first salesperson at Atlas Digital. Now, what's crazy is he moved all the way from Atlanta to Colorado, and we did not have our shit together. We did not have an intro call script. We did not have a demo presentation. At that point, we were literally closing clients through a Google form, and we're like, all right, well, you're onboarded. Do you want to sign up? Like, we did not have a sales process. So we were only converting the people that already really knew us, liked us, trusted us from these BNI groups. We were pretty much not closing anyone from cold email. And we were like, Omir, go figure it out. He was really forced to build our entire sales process, and he did. After that, we ended up going from about 30K to 65K a month, still working with a bunch of different niches. I was just maxed out. I became the bottleneck. I was doing everything. I was running the client's ads. I was doing all the client onboarding calls. I was doing innovation. I was figuring out how to get us more appointments. I was doing everything while my business partner and Omir were doing sales. At one point, I was literally managing over 50 clients by myself. It was crazy. At this point, I told my business partner, we need to find a way to focus even more. And this is really when we came up with the idea of like one niche, one channel, one offer. I know Hermosi's talked a lot about that, but we didn't even know Hermosi back then. Came up with this idea of like, how can we essentially productize our service so that it's the same every single time? So one niche, we picked chiropractors. One channel, we said, we're going to do this just with cold emailing. And then one offer, we're just going to do Facebook ads for chiropractors. It kind of got us there, but it didn't get us to the next level. One niche, chiropractors, that was the move. And what we actually did is we actually printed out a contract with ourselves, and it said we had to stick with chiropractors for the next 12 months. We had to say no every other type of client for the next 12 months, or else we lose our equity. And we also said that if we both caved, we would shut the business down. And it's really important that we printed it because it became real. It was physical. It was live. And then what we did is we took it, we put it on like right by our computer so we could see it every single day. And we also productized the offer. So it was the same service every single time. Facebook ads, same ad for every client. And then this is where we messed up. We said one channel. We were stuck at 65K a month for a long time. We went to one of my good friends' events. His name is J.R. Rivas, and I met a really amazing person named Mark Coulter. When I went to the event, I found out Mark is a solo entrepreneur. He doesn't have a business partner. He doesn't have a salesperson. He doesn't have VAs, but he's closing chiropractor clients. And I was like, how are you doing that? And he said, I'm doing it through paid ads. Whenever I'm maxed out, I shut the ads off. And I was like, what do you mean? How is that humanly possible? And that's when it hit me. We didn't have any leverage. We couldn't scale our appointments. Cold email could only get us so far. At our peak, cold email was getting us about 2 to 3 clients a month. Plus with referrals, maybe we were getting 4 clients, 5 clients a month max. I wanted to get 4 to 5 clients a week, and we needed to put fuel to the fire. So I did a trade with Mark, and I convinced him to run our ads. Came back to Colorado, and then Mark changes his mind. I'm like, I know this is what we need. I know we need scale. We need to put fuel to the fire. He changed his mind. He's like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try it on my own. Put $1,000 into ads. Didn't work. I'm like, paid ads is a scam. Some time goes by. I end up catching up with Mark. He's like, yeah, I'm still crushing it with ads. And I'm like, dude, what do I have to do to get you to run our ads? Finally, he said, all right, let's do it. Within 6 months of him launching the ads, we went from 65K a month to $250,000 per month. At that point, we had one niche. We had one offer. We were getting clients good results. We had the systems in place. We had VAs. We had an account manager. We had a salesperson. We had both me and my business partner. We were just missing fuel to the fire. As soon as that happened, boom, we scaled to $250,000 per month. We have hundreds of clients and things are going really well. By the age of 26, I made $1 million. There's one more problem. I was still the bottleneck of the business. At this point, I had figured out the first 3 pillars to scaling an agency to 7 figures. How to set appointments, how to close appointments, and how to get clients great results. The last pillar, which is something that I talk about with all my students, it's called firing yourself. If you still have to show up every single day, and that's the only way for your agency to grow, then you don't have a business, you have a high-paying job. I essentially traded a 9-to-5 working for a billionaire for a 9-to-9 or a 24/7 working for myself making more money. I remember being in Costa Rica and the sun is going down. I was supposed to be there for a vacation to relax. And instead of looking at the sunset, I'm making some stupid Facebook ads for chiropractors. I'm literally in the ads manager building things out. And I just remember thinking like, this is not it. Because I started my agency in the first place, yes, to make money, yes, because I love the game of entrepreneurship, but also for freedom. I felt like a slave of my own business. And that's when I really started to take this concept of firing yourself and putting it to work. So I created something called the vacation test. It was inspired by this vacation that I didn't get to enjoy. If you can't leave on vacation for 5 days and the business is at least stable, you still have a high paying job. Of course, most businesses are gonna work better if you're there, but is it gonna break if you're not? Are campaigns going to stop being built out if you stop showing up? Are clients gonna completely stop getting results and everything's gonna fall apart if you don't get good results? If so, you don't have a real business. And I remember coming home from Costa Rica, and that's when I decided to do two things. I'm gonna build out an all-star team and I'm gonna build out SOPs and automations. And I started to document everything. The next campaign that I built out for a client, I literally recorded the whole thing and spoke it out and documented it. And I started to pass everything off. And over time, I got to the point where our agency was doing over $300,000 per month. We were profiting over 6 figures a month. And I did not have to show up to the day-to-day. My main goal at that point was, how can I come up with innovations? How can I continue to build our brand? How can I drive the business by working on the business, not by being in the business? Now, keep in mind, it took me about 2 to 3 years to get to 100K a month, and then 250, and then 300K a month with my agency. And I had to go through some of the most intense, scariest, the darkest moments of my life in order to kill my old identity and become the human being that had earned the right to build a 7-figure business. I messed up a lot of the time along the way, made many, many mistakes. But at this point, I started getting messages all the time like, Joel, can you help me with my agency? I'm looking to scale. Can I pay you for your time? And at first I was like, I'm not sure. I want to just keep growing my agency. But at that point I was like, you know what? Let me just throw an event. I want to throw an event, get to meet other people that want to learn from me, and I can share some of the things that are working for me. And JR and I, who was the guy that I went to his event where I met Mark, I said, yo, JR, you know how to throw events. I've never thrown an event. You want to do this together? I'll bring the expertise, the authority, the experience, the knowledge. You help me set up the event and we'll crush it. So a few months later, we're hosting our first event in Atlanta together. We bring like 30 to 40 agency owners that want to learn from us. And I literally give everything away. And I met so many amazing people at that first event. A lot of those guys were at like 0 or 5K a month or 10K a month. And a ton of them have gone on to build massive multi-7-figure agencies years later. Some have even exited for millions. And it's pretty crazy. Now, at that event, it really clicked for me. I felt like there was a huge need in the marketplace for coaches that, number one, were actually doing what they were teaching. We're having consistent success with it. It wasn't just like a matter of luck or just like they hit 10K a month one time. Like, no, it was like I'm hitting $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month consistently. I feel like I've earned the right to share that with other people. And last but not least, I felt like there was a lack of integrity missing in the space. Everyone was flexing these cars and it was very much like, oh, look at me. And I'm like, I don't care about the lifestyle. I just want to help people get results. I just cared about how good is the product. Can I get people results? If so, then I feel like I've earned the right to have them invest into me to mentor them. And that's really when Agency Lab was born. Now, what's crazy is that now we have crazy amounts of coaching calls and all these coaches, and it's a full-blown community, but it only started with me helping one agency owner at a time. And at this point, if you're still watching, you're probably like, Joel, where's the other 99 agencies that you helped scale to 7-figure run rate, to $100,000 per month? So far, since launching Agency Lab, they've been able to take the same principles that helped me go from 0 to 10K a month, and then back to 3K a month, and then back to 10K a month, and then I was stuck there for a while, and then 30K a month, and then stuck there for a while, and then 65, and then 250, and then 300K a month. They took those same principles. We've been able to help 95 agency owners scale to $100,000 per month. So myself, 95 other agencies. Then we've got my business partner, Sergio, who scaled rolling revenue to $100,000 per month. We've got Isaac Rubel, who scaled Media Simplified to $100,000 per month. And about a year and a half ago, we did launch an agency for agencies that hit 100K a month fairly quickly. And today, we're actually partnered with a few agencies that we personally help in exchange for equity to help them scale, and we're also crushing it. So if you count up all of those, at this point, we've helped 180 agency owners take these same frameworks and use them to hit $100,000 per month. So I know it's been a long video, and hopefully it's given you some clarity on the whole journey of how I was able to build my 7-figure SMMA from scratch. But here's where I want to leave you off. I don't want you to book a call with my team. I don't want you to give me a single dollar. If you're watching this and you haven't watched the free courses, I give away the same exact courses that I gave to all of those other agency owners that hit 100K a month. If you have not taken the time to go and watch those, this is your sign. I'm on a mission to destroy all of the gurus on the internet by giving everything away for free. In this world, the more you give, the more you get. And if you make money with my free information and then you want to work with me more closely for coaching or for implementation, we can talk about that. But for now, here's my ask for you. Go watch all of my free courses. We have 6 free courses showing you how to go from 0 to 100K a month. Literally go on playlists and you can access them. And then go out and take massive action. And don't be like me and build a fucking sticker or website.